So I'm out here in the bird run in this real quick cubby, I guess, a little shelter that I made for them for when they're out of the coop during the day. It's just two fence panels, cedar fence panels with a tarp over the top for a windbreak. There's a snow that slid down on the south side. Birds are all in there, well, some of the ducks. And then on this side, on the north side, it's still snow covered. The wind is coming right from the north. It is very cold out with that wind. And what I am going to do is just bank this 3 inches of fluffy snow up on this side just for extra warmth. They can come out the front or they can come out the back, and I've got hay down there. And then I've just got a simple old thick paned window leaning up to keep the snow from swirling in there. So this is part of the project today, is banking the cubbies. So this cubby has also been freshened up. The hay that was in there has been fluffed. Anything that was dirty was taken out, and another sleeve, I guess, of hay has been put in there. I also like to put shavings or hay around where they stand when they drink their water, so that, because it turns all ice there, and I'm sure that's cold. But I just like to give them something comfortable to stand on while they're drinking. Now, their feed coop is always kept dry. It is south facing, so the sun shines right in there, and they could go in there as well and be comfortable while they eat. They can lay down in the sun there, but they're just choosing to lay down. Most of them, they're just choosing to lay down right on top of the snow. But at least they have an option, right? That's my responsibility as a bird owner. So the birds decided last night, as cold as it was, they decided that they wanted to spend the night outside. So yesterday I had given them extra bedding in their coop, laid down some piles of hay in their coop just so they'd be warm. I know, ducks and geese they have down, they're not going to be cold. It's just my peace of mind. I like to spoil my birds. So I'm going to get all hay. I'm going to be picking hay off my clothes. But currently it is 3 degrees and we've got some wind, folks, and it's pretty strong at times. And according to the weather app, which has proven itself wrong in temperature here a few times, it shows about 9-10 degrees warmer than it actually is. But the feel-like temperature is -14, and it feels every bit of -14. So we only got 3-4 inches of real fluffy snow this last storm, but that's all we've got really on the ground. So I banked up the north side. That's the direction the wind is coming from. And the cubbies are all cleaned off. So the water is staying thawed. And I brought out a bucket of water from the house, so it was room temperature. Set it on the deck. Hauled a couple armloads of wood. Came back to bring that bucket out to the birds, and it had already skimmed over on top. So it's pretty cool out, folks. That weren't maybe, that was less than, that was about 5 minutes. But it was room temperature, and warm water freezes faster than cold water. So, yeah, I can see it's going to be chilly today, folks. It's quite cool here. I got up, well, before I went to bed, I checked on the birds, and it was quite cool. The wind was blowing pretty hard, and so I gave them some extra bedding. I gave them a few piles of fluffy hay to lay on if they so choose in their coop. And they decided that even though it was warmer and more comfortable inside their coop, they didn't want to go in. None of them. So I have cubbies out here, and some of them are laying in the cubbies, some of them are laying right out on the snow. The geese were laying right out on the snow, and they didn't want to go in. So I went back in the coop thinking, well, maybe there's something in there that they don't like. Maybe a weasel got in there, maybe a rat. A rat. I haven't seen any evidence of rats here. There's plenty of mice. So I went in and checked all the crooks and crannies and didn't find anything. They just didn't want to go in last night. So they had fresh bedding in their cubby. I fluffed it up and gave them some more bedding yesterday because they didn't want to go in their coop. Well, they kept coming in and out of their cubbies and in and out of the coop yesterday. So at about 2 o'clock this morning, the outside motion sensor lights were on right here in the run. So I got all dudded up, came out, checked on the coop, checked on their cubbies. They look pretty comfortable. I brought them out a bucket of water, knowing that it was going to freeze almost immediately, and opened their feed coop up. They were pretty comfortable. They stayed out all night. So it's all good. It's all good. Now I've been messing with hay with a hoodie on, right? This one's a zip-up hoodie, and so I'm all covered in hay. I didn't want to go back in and put my barn jacket on. I just didn't. So that's my fault. I'll just have to pick the hay off. So I guess that's where it is. When you've got birds, you have to have a responsibility. You've got to keep them nice, warm, dry, and comfortable in all weather. You've got to make sure that they are safe. I've got 2 cubbies here. I really don't need 2 cubbies, but they utilize both of them, so that's all right. It didn't take anything to put them together. So I've just got to make sure I've got hay to put in the outside cubbies, keep them out of the wind, which they are out of the wind. And you just got to take care of them, folks. You just can't. The more they're outside, like if you live in cold weather, you're acclimated to the cold weather. Say someone that lives in the tropics, right? You can handle that. And the longer you're out in it, the more acclimated you become. Your blood becomes thicker over time, right? And that's why it's, when we get our first hot days in the spring, we're so used to all that bitter cold that the first hot day, our blood is so thick, folks, that we're just, it feels like torture when the first 80-degree day comes. But some of you already know that. So you got to take care of your animals. If you have animals, birds, whatever, you've just got to take care of them. Just like they're your children that can't take care of themselves. Even though they're acclimated, to the cold. You just want to make them comfortable and keep them dry and out of the shelter and out of the elements, right? So geese and ducks have inner feathers. They have that thick layer of down feathers where they're pretty comfortable when it's cold. They really are. But it's just my peace of mind keeping them as comfortable as they can be, right? So I've got them. It's my responsibility to take care of them. And in my opinion, it's my responsibility to baby them. Even though they are my breeders, and even though some of them get put up on the shelf for food, you still got to take care of them, folks. You got to have them live their best life. And my birds do have their best life here, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod. I have opened the run door so they can go in and out if they want to, because they're not going to go on the bog this time of year. And I'll show you that my geese are laying right in the snow. My ducks are laying right in the snow. And they've got 2 cubbies. And they've got a coop they can go into, and they're choosing to lay right on the snow, folks. It's just the way it is, but at least I'm giving them an option, right? There's some of them right there. And there's the geese. I don't know if you can see them. I'm having a hard time seeing the camera here. But the geese are laying on the snow. The ducks are laying on the snow. Over there, they're laying on the snow in the sun. They're pretty comfortable, folks. Like I said, they've got 2 cubbies with real fresh, fluffed up hay. They've got their coop, which has a lot of bedding in it, because I put extra bedding in last night. And they have their feed coop. They can get out of the elements if they choose, and they're just choosing not to, folks.